Hello, good morning. I hope you all have your handkerchiefs out. It's a good day to have a good day. Good morning again. A very warm welcome. This is 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. It is the best breakfast show in all of the land, if we do say so ourselves. We're on up until 10 a.m. this morning. My name is Helen Apia Ampofo. As always, we do this in tandem with you. So head over to our socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We're also on Twitter at 3FM 92.7. And we love hearing from you all throughout the show. You can talk to us on social media. The hashtag we're using, hashtag 3FM Sunrise.
3FM Sunrise. 3FM Sunrise.
Well, it rained quite heavily in some parts of the country yesterday. Depending on where you are, it could be a little bit overcast as it's looking in Kanda. We'll connect very shortly with Felicity Ahafianyong. She's a chief forecaster with the Ghana Met. She'll be letting us know whether we can leave our raincoats at home this morning.
3FM Sunrise. 3FM Sunrise. 3FM Sunrise.
Now, the list of bodies, associations, institutions that government owes seems to be never ending. Today we have our lenses firmly on the issues. Will food suppliers be finally paid all the monies due to them? We'll be keeping an eye out on that. We also have our lenses firmly on a few other issues. The non-payment of District Assembly common funds. Is that impeding MMDA's work? We'll talk about that. Our food sector, our energy sector. What is going on? We'll talk more about it as the show progresses. Let's connect now with Felicity Ahafianyong. She'll let us know what to expect by way of weather this morning. Felicity, hello, good morning to you. Hope you are well.
Yes, good morning, Helen. I am better today than yesterday. What about you?
Nothing $1 million couldn't solve. But otherwise, we're thriving this morning. Should we be getting our umbrellas out? What is the forecast for the capital and beyond?
Yeah, thanks so much and good morning to our dear audience. Yes, we need to go out with our umbrellas and then raincoats. But for those of us over the capital, umbrellas would do, a small one would do for us. We expect the entire country to be cloudy and then some rain and thunder over the OT region, part of the savannah into the Bono areas. Then the upper east, upper west will have some rain. There was a rainstorm that engulfed the sector at dawn, so it's going to leave some cloudiness and then some thunderstorms with rain over the places that I have mentioned. Greater Accra Central and Western North, we expect them to have light rain during the day this morning. By afternoon, we expect the sun to break through. And then by evening, we expect just a few areas in the eastern region, Ashanti, to also have isolated cases of thunderstorms with rain. The state of the sea is still expected to be calm this morning throughout the day. But then the Volta Lake, we are having the system over there, so they will be having rain over the Volta Lake, so they have to be a bit careful. Kwame Danso area, OT region into the black and then the white Volta, they will all be having some rain this morning. By afternoon, the system will shift to the western flank so they can do their fishing in the afternoon. So by way of forecast for today, this is how we are expecting it. If there's going to be a change we'll definitely update you through our 3 times daily forecast, the afternoon and then the evening forecast.
Thank you so much for that, Felicity. We're grateful for your time.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day.
You as well. And that was Felicity letting us know today we have to get our umbrellas out. There's going to be a few showers of blessings across the board.
3FM Sunrise. 3FM Sunrise. 3FM Sunrise.
Sorry, but I need to see your handkerchief. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ow. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Can you sing along to this one? Hey, hey. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Come on, come on, come on. We're in the spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We are in the spirit. We are in the spirit this morning. Good morning to you, Asarwa.
Good morning, Ms. Apia Ampafo.
How are we feeling this morning?
Are we feeling better today than yesterday, as Felicity
I think I'm greater than Accra.
That is Mr. Hughes. That is Mr. Hughes for you.
I'm greater than Accra, and we hope that you as well, you're much, much greater than Accra. We have a number of papers in front of us this morning. We'll run through the headlines, and then we will take some details. The Ghanaian Times this morning has this to say: for effective implementation of education reforms, commit more funds at local level. Dr. Boakye Yadom also pictured here on the front page. Provide tax incentives to private sector to create jobs, and new salary structure allowances for JUSAG lower bench take effect. 7th National COVID-19 Vaccination Days campaign begins today. It's captured on page 14. The Daily Guide this morning. ADBMD endorses a Kumfi factory model. I haven't had that juice in a while, you know. I haven't seen it on the shelves. Is it just me? Maybe it's just myself. Good morning, Mr. Hughes. When was the last time you had yourself some refreshing juice, pineapple juice?
I decided that I was going to use that as the official juice for my son to take to school because he doesn't like the fizzy drinks. And because he has flesh on his bones. So I decided not to give him the fizzy drinks. And I don't find it. I used to find it around the supermarkets in my area, but for some strange reason, I don't find it. It was a comfy juice, then became eco juice. I attracted, but you don't find it. And when you say, people say, oh, it's available, you know, especially people within government or the outside, they say, oh, it's available. And I said, sure, as well. I mean, I don't need to look into every corner to find it. It's been produced here. So it should be available to us. And a shocking thing that one of the big factories that also exports juices out of this country, they produce in large quantity, they sell and export out of the country, told me about how sometimes they offload some of their fruits, literally the leftover, to them to do their production.
I see.
And for me, it's worrying because I'm also looking at the Komenda Sugar Factory.
That's right.
It was supposed to have kick-started finally, after too many failed attempts in April of 2022. We've gone past April 2023. That means a full year has come since the president told the chiefs of Ekumfi when they came to visit him that the factory was going to be up and running. So again, it comes back to the question. If we say we are industrializing,
that's right,
and we say we have all these factories available, and yet youth unemployment is going up, and the factories cannot really answer the questions on our dining tables, on our lunch tables and on our dinner tables, then we have a problem, because we don't have a grain or cube of sugar produced in this country. This morning the children will go to school. What will be their options if they want to have some snack?
That's right.
Which juice are they taking to school? Who's doing donut for them? who is doing bread roll for them, who's doing whatever it is for them, jam roll, whatever it is, who's packaging what for them, from which factory, because this is a daily, consumption need. So if you capitalize on that, you'll make money. And once you make the money comes back into the economy. I don't have a degree in economics, but I know that if you do this from where I sit on my small business corner, I know that this is how it works. The people have a need, you satisfy the need, you make profit, you reinvest, you plow back, you expand, you scale up, you employ more hands, and then everybody becomes happy. I don't know why it's become difficult for us to say, oh, we have 135 factories up and running, we have 125 factories up and running. I mean, we keep saying all of those ones, but really, how are those factories answering the conundrum of the 43 items on our benchmark values? Rice, oil, chicken, sugar. And lately, it's worrying when the Statistical Service addresses us and talks about the fact that we're importing cassava, we're importing yam.
That's a new one that I'm adding to my list. I mean, cassava.
That's what is. That's what is hitting.
What are we not even importing?
That is what is hitting up our food inflation.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
So we're importing
yam, cassava.
We're importing tomatoes. We're importing onions, garlic, ginger. We're importing next to everything.
What do we do for ourselves?
Fish.
Tilapia, we import it.
And yet we have a flagship planting for foods and jobs. We have one district, one factory, one village, one dam. I decided to buy a Kumfi juice.
You were able to find some. In fact, Sixtus just said he's been able to source some in the capital.
Yes, yesterday I went to the supermarket. I didn't get some.
Oh, I see.
And with the Commander Sugar Factory thing, you see, countries that are producing chocolate for us, are they cocoa growing countries?
No.
But they are producing chocolate.
Yeah.
So even if you don't have the sugar cane here, you can also import the raw materials and add value to them and export.
That's a wonderful perspective. Not only we adding value, but also importing and also doing our own thing.
Raw material, add value and export. Just like people are importing cocoa to their countries,
adding value and selling it back to us. Oh,
it's as simple as that.
More on the front page of the Daily Guide. Akosua Menu files for Adenta seat. Bawumia campaign team unveiled. Samia Wuku leads. Refund MP aspirants their money. We'll talk about that as we proceed. Jachi Kwesen trial resumes. Lastly, the BNFT. Agriculture, ADBMD endorses a Kumfi factory model. That's also captured here. Jubilee Field producing over 100,000 BOPD. Zoomlion goes digital, launches payment platform to improve customer service. Access Bank PLC enters acquisition agreements with Stan Chart. Niaman Kratete appointed Leshego CEO. Gentlemen.
Well, the Daily Analyst this morning says attack on journalists by immigration officers. Interior Minister must act swiftly. GJA fires back, and that would not be the first, because Joseph Gold Armstrong Alogwe here has also been attacked by immigration officers before. That was in the wake of when I did the expose on the immigration service. That matter is before court, so I won't get into the details of saying. But I mean, this will not be the first, as far as I know. We don't engage in land gas to protect our lands. Ghana Police debunks reports. Vice President Bawumia cuts sword for 100-bed hospital at Ijura. ADBMD endorses a Kumfi factory model. Advocates for replication across the country. And Ghana, Portugal signed defense and economic pacts. On the Finder newspaper front page, Ghana, Portugal signed defense and economic pacts. Dr. Bawumia cuts sought for 100-bed hospital at Ijura. Access Bank acquires Standard Chartered in 5 African countries. Dr. Akoto to link agric diversification to agric economic development. And Agenda 111 BRICS suppliers cry foul over unilateral substitution of compressed earth bricks with cement blocks. Can we say Oyiwa?
I don't know. A message that has just come through. Jacqueline, good morning to you. Thank you. She says that if you go to the depot, COM20, those of you looking for some
I should leave Nampala and go to the depot.
I should move from Santa Maria and go to the depot.
I think that we need to look, the other competing brands, because you notice that the very day it was announced to us that we have a Kumfi juice. I even took a photo with it and put it out there. And guess where I did it? I did it at MPP conference at Trade Fair because we were offered some for refreshment. That was where I cut my taste for it, and I said, look, I'm going to look for this going forward for my son and for the children who come visit, my nephews and my nieces. So it should be readily available because the competing brands are already there. This morning, if I'm taking my son to school and I'm late already, I leave home around 7:30. After watching, say, Johnny's Bite, I'm leaving home around 7:10, 7:15. Then I have to now drive all the way to where? Which warehouse? Or be combing from one shop to the other to be looking for these things. Come on. Your competing brands are out there. They even import into this country and pay duty. So they are supposed to be even much more harder to reach than you are.
More scarce,
you
and we
produce
can find them.
here in this country, the factory seated here, and the thing is not available. Is it a case of in the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty?
In fact,
they said they also do.
They need to improve the distribution channels.
Jacqueline said they'll deliver to you.
Okay, let them deliver.
It doesn't
but
have,
it's not about
so
me.
It doesn't have to be Johnny Hughes. It has to be available. If I cross over now to the shop, around Afrikiko, I should be able to find a Kumfi juice.
That is fair.
How difficult should that be?
That is fair.
Produce a Kumfi. A Kumfi is not far from here. A Kumfi is about 2.5, 3 hours from here, from Accra. So if I am in Accra and I'm 2.5 hours away from the factory and I am speaking like this, can you imagine somebody who is 5, 7, 8, 10 hours away from the factory? Which you get serious.
In fact, I expect to see a Kumfi juice, on the tables whenever we have state functions. This is how the thing should be. It should be available, it should be accessible, it should be affordable.
It should be prominent as well.
Yes,
we need to put that on the forefront.
And advertising, they say ubiquitous. It must be ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous.
It must have a
That's our word of
presence.
the day. Mr. Siedu, good morning to you. Have you had some refreshing Kumfi juice recently?
No, I haven't. But I'm wondering how marketing has become an issue because we have a lot of marketing students out there. I thought it was one of those things that will create more jobs for the people.
Exactly.
So why are we having issues marketing the Kumfi juice? It must be intentional, must be deliberate. This is something that we don't do as a country. We start a project and we just take our legs off the pedal and this is where we are. I mean, it isn't a big deal. These are things that people buy. When we started, those days we used to call bottled water Insu because first one was
Aztec Insu.
The first one was Insu. It was all over the place, even until recently, and another brand has come and we are calling all of them that brand.
Insu. The Vortic.
I wouldn't mention that one because it's still in the system and this is treated airtime.
Well, but I mean, facts
graphic,
are facts.
every people see. So some of the things, if you just push them around, if you do it so hard, maybe very soon all those ones will become Kumfi juice. Then it is top of the mind. You get it everywhere, and then I don't see why we should be a discussion this morning unless they are having challenges with sales and for which reason production is not getting resources in terms of funds to keep.
Well, they're in the stratosphere because this morning we're told ADB-MD endorses a Kumfi factory model, and it sparked our minds. When was the last time we actually saw it on our shelves in the shops? And we thought,
I've seen them with some vans, with some of them packed around the Parliament House area where they park and have a lot of them in the car trunk. But these days I don't see them.
See,
let's push our stuff forward.
What would it take, for example, to have a regular supply to Parliament? All right? I go to Parliament. I go to the cafeteria at Parliament. I don't find a Kumfi juice there. But we do know that the lobby of Parliament, for example, has a lot of expatriates coming in to come in and sponsor a bill. You have top executive walking in there. Introduce it to them. They'll develop a taste for it. They'll recommend. I go to events in Ghana, IMC events in this country. You don't find a Kumfi juice. It should, as William said, marketing should not be a problem for us. You have too many marketing students who are out of school, jobless. Give them cases of a Kumfi juice. Put them in a truck and tell them if you sell 10, your commission is X amount. Who told you they can't sell?
Even if you don't have the logistics to move them, Ghana Post is there. They have the trucks. Give them that contract. They can make it available.
Guys, we're giving out too many free gems.
Yes,
this is free consultancy.
But we're saying that, look, there's the reason we go and borrow because a Kumfi juice now Eco Juice, had a lot of goodwill when it was first produced. The goodwill is still there. It's not gone away completely. How do we capitalize on it? Now ADB is talking about an endorsement of a coffee factory. The next thing you read is that ADB perhaps is voting our money, because no bank has money of its own. And I'm a customer of ADB. It's voting our money to give them a loan to run. Now, if they give my money to them to run, and they are not running the business the way it has to be run by international models, so that it rakes in the right profit, so that my bank will also give me some of the monies that are accrued from there, should I not complain? I will complain. Well, it's my money. They can't be behaving like the way Senate is behaving. They come and take our monies every month, and then when they build affordable houses, we can't even afford. Those of us who are contributed to Senate, we can't afford the houses.
I suspect the problem is not marketing. Maybe it's just the general economic environment where people are not buying those things any longer, because there have been taxes on those drinks from the beginning of the year.
Recently, the excise tax.
So the inflation, the food inflation, everything is affecting it, so that people don't buy those things anymore. It's become more like parents are not able to afford.
It's more of a luxury.
They are not making a lot of income to push more out. I'm just also looking at another factor.
I don't think that's okay. Well, it's possible for some, but I don't think that's because I'm not just talking from this year. I'm talking from last year and even beyond that.
I'm talking about the fact that
I mean, but people still buy other brands for their children. This morning, if you stop the children going to school, right, who have their lunch boxes, and you open it, you would see we buy it every day. Yesterday I bought something for my son to take to school.
So we should have our own products on the forefront.
And you see, when you're buying those things, you buy them in cases. So you buy one case, it's 24 in the case, and then they use it for 24 days. Sometimes they come home in the afternoon, food is not ready. They take one and they add a cookie or something, and they wait for the main dish.
Kids I enjoy.
That's fine, but I'm looking at the general
the thing is that
situation.
Okay, not everybody is buying. Let's assume that,
right.
But there are people who are buying alternatives. Can we fill that void with our own? Can we? Is that too much to ask?
Well, there's a story here in the Ghanaian Times on page 4, and it's about government paying 50% of the debts owed food suppliers. Do we know what the Daily Graphic is saying this morning, William? I think we've run through the headlines.
Not this one.
Not this one, okay.
University of Ghana and NUS, that's Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, are running unapproved courses. Authorities move to rectify anomaly. And according to the paper, 2021 Auditor General's report has revealed that the University of Ghana is running 371 unaccredited programs. 371 unaccredited programs, including 80 undergraduate courses. The unaccredited programs include 213 postgraduate and 67 Doctor of Philosophy PhD courses. 67 PhD courses. Similarly, officials of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology are also before the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament and have admitted that the KNUST was running a number of unaccredited programs, but the registrar of the University of Ghana, Mrs. Emilia Ajay-Mensah, told the committee in Accra yesterday that 60 of the undergraduate programs of the institution had been fully accredited, while the university had put in place systems to ensure that all outstanding unaccredited courses went through the process successfully. So they have started the process, they haven't finished, it's not been successful, but the programs are on the ground running.
And students have paid and
they've given the
but this is an old issue that resurfaced, because last year it was prominent. Yeah, it was there.
Not just KNUST and University of Ghana. I think there were a lot more. Yeah. And then you remember also that HEFRA, the body authorized to regulate health institutions, they also came up to say that there were hospitals that were running, without
so to clarify for me, gentlemen, you're in a program that is unaccredited. When you finish and you get a certificate, what is it worth?
It is Warao Jijiriji.
Oh.
So if you go to a higher institution,
but even those that are accredited, when you take those certificates, and as we always say, if you don't add value to yourself, if you don't build your social network,
if you're not creative,
how are you going to even survive? People have graduated with first class, with
the accredited ones crying.
But I think there's the Daily Graphic story on the Access Bank, entering into agreement with Standard Chartered and
acquiring 5 of their branches.
Yes, in Angola. I think it's a good one. It's a good one because normally we hear of foreign banks or international banks rather buying assets or acquiring the African ones. But for Access Bank, which is an African bank, to be able to acquire those properties in Angola, Gambia, Sierra Leone is a good one. And I think that the other banks, can also work towards that. We need to expand. I'm looking at
what are they buying? What are they buying?
Yeah, they are buying their assets.
And if they are buying their assets, why are the people trading off the assets?
Yes.
If the assets were fetching in as much,
questions,
or are they packing out of Africa completely
because left and upside?
Yes, because they are looking at how the economy of Africa is happening. What is the GDP of Liberia, Sierra Leone? What does their inflation look like? What does their cost of living look like?
It looks way better than us, because out of the 54 African countries, we're only beating 2 countries. The Star of Africa. Out of the 54, we are only beating Sudan. We're only come on.
Just before we go, there's a story on Twitter. Their former Ghana office, and the employees are having anxiety attacks. That's according to the BBC, as reported in the Daily Graphic. Some of Twitter's former employees in Africa have told the BBC that they are tired of the drawn-out negotiations over their severance pay. On Monday, the BBC reported that the social media company had been silent since May on all negotiations with the ex-employees' lawyers following the massive layoffs in November last year. Some of those affected have been speaking to the BBC on condition of anonymity, and some of them are saying the decisions made during the negotiations with Twitter, including the 3-month severance package, wasn't our desire, but people want to get over of this phase. One employee said, for many of the former staff of Twitter's office in Accra, the silence, along with the attitude of the organization towards them and their legal representatives, has caused much stress. One person said it had led to anxiety attacks.
This Twitter issue is a big one.
It's been a
the head of Twitter operations in Ghana, Kafui Sokwe, he was tweeting recently. He says the world's richest man still owes me. So those of you that government owes, take heart. Take heart. Join the queue.
But the point is that, like the other Bruni said, when the young man said our economy is crashing because of COVID, Russia, Ukraine, and that every economy is crashing, he said, look, the benchmark should not be the US, the UK, China, and others. The benchmark should be excellence. The standard should be excellence.
I want to live in a country where it doesn't matter who's crumbling. I want to stand tall.
Doing his thing. Leave him to do his thing.
Well, richest man crying to Yamekana Abai. All right.
But if my Abai has the money, I see that my Abai is wasting the money. He must pay me my money.
They must pay him.
If the business is not functioning, you should just close down and pay the people. You shouldn't behave as if they are working and pretend to be paying the people.
It's a whole mess. Something we